Go, 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 let's get it. I'm a trapping fanatic, that shit automatic, so I cannot turn it on or off. Bitches all on my dick, then she hop on my dick, I'm like, why you keep hopping on and off? Your bitch all on my dick, she be doing the most, I tell her, little bitch, you so extra. And my gun up on me, but not run up on me, niggas, they wanna fight, they some wrestlers.
What if Naruto befriended Kurama early on in the story? How would things change? How many of Naruto's fights would go in his favor? And how many of his friends could he potentially save, like Jiraiya and Neji? If you are new to my channel, I'm Zero, and with all of this out of the way, let's get started. Now, Naruto is of course born on the night of the Nine-Tails attack, except this time, when sealing the beast, Minato is able to get the good half of Kurama into his son. As his dying breath, he states to Hiruzen to protect Naruto, but Hiruzen didn't know who he was actually speaking to. He was speaking to the beast that he had just sealed within his own son. Now, as Naruto grew up, Kurama will feel more of his pain. Seeing how the boy was treated reminded him of itself. Both seem to be looked at as outsiders, who could one day be a threat to all safety. Throughout the early years of Naruto, whenever he would get hurt, such as breaking his arm or anything like that, Kurama would pour out his own chakra to help Naruto heal. At first, it goes unnoticed, but then Naruto begins to realize his body was healing itself. This, of course, makes him go to Hiruzen, who finds this odd. And since the whole point of this what if is for Naruto to become friends with his tail beast, he calls on Jiraiya. As Asani meets with the young Naruto, who is actually quite exceptional, having his own chakra control be pretty good, since Kurama wasn't messing with it in this timeline. Jiraiya decides to take the young boy to the land of sages in Mount Miyaboku, where he asks Fukusaku for advice. The old toad suggested that before anything, Jiraiya needs to train to master his own sage mode, because if any of Naruto's training goes wrong, they could all be dead. This slight change makes Jiraiya even stronger as he masters sage mode very early on here, and he's having Naruto train to control his own chakra even better. With Kurama not messing with it, it's actually really easy for him in Naruto's life. Well, you'll see how it goes, as he's able to learn jutsu and hand signs way faster. So, for at least 2 years, Jiraiya tirelessly worked to improve himself, and this ends up making him the strongest Sannin, outclassing both of his peers. With his mastered sage mode, seals, jutsu, and taijutsu, his strength has grown enormously. Now, they could truly begin, so Jiraiya places a hand on Naruto's seal, forcing Kurama's chakra to leak out. As Naruto then passes out, waking up in a world where he talks to the large fox. Kurama states that he felt bad for Naruto, and he actually wishes to help him in his journey as a shinobi. So, he needs to take this as a sign of him helping. Chakra then covers the body of Naruto as he wakes up with his eyes now red alongside the chakra around his body. What is this? Jiraiya explains to Naruto that he is a Jinchuriki and his training will now begin today. So until Naruto is the age to become a genin, he's raised on Mount Miyaboku, learning as much as he could from Jiraiya and Fukusaku and the other toads who were there. This Naruto also loses some of his childish habits because of his training. It's not that Jiraiya was strict, it's simply the fact that Naruto doesn't have to act out. He doesn't have to pull pranks to seek attention and acceptance. We would go to the day that Naruto returns, as he had been gone for years, and he returned at night. This would also be the night that Mizuki steals a scroll, but he's approached, by Naruto, and then wind surrounds his body, trapping him in an air bubble. While floating, he's then hit with a flurry of attacks, sending him back into the village. Iruka and Hiruzen catch up to see that Naruto had already returned, now having a scroll of sealing in his hands. And since they did take a while to catch up to Mizuki, he's already looked inside the scroll, learning his signature jutsu. Hiruzen didn't even recognize the boy, as now he sported more of his Shippuden outfit, with a more black and orange. Naruto walks by them, grabbing Mizuki and using a genjutsu to find out what his plans were, and then he kills him. The next morning, he returns to the academy, being placed on Team 7, and now awaits for Kakashi. They have the same conversation on the roof, as now the next day would arrive for the bell test, Immediately when it begins, Naruto rushes in, at Kakashi, pulling out a kunai, as the two would go back and forth, with Sasuke and Sakura actually watching on in the distance, hiding. They noted that Naruto had come back, a lot stronger and a lot faster. But how? Of course, Sasuke would hate that. And just, where the hell did he go to become stronger? Of course, Naruto can't beat Kakashi on his own, so Sasuke would have to jump in when he can, and the two actually work well together, with Naruto knowing how he needs to sync up with Sasuke, letting him take the lead in this battle. It's just that without Sakura, it's useless. Their sensei would be surprised when Sakura would eventually jump in to help, and when that would happen, he would pass them, giving them words of wisdom, as now their journey could truly begin. And now, we have those filler missions until the Land of Waves arc, where, in the beginning, Naruto and Sasuke show off their skills, taking down the Demon Mist brothers and fighting the clone of Zabuza, as that's where we would pick up the story. Naruto and Sasuke come up with a plan, heading right for the clone, as Naruto would then summon a sword, swinging it and it's blocked. Sasuke then jumps in the air, throwing a kunai down, making it hard for the clone to dodge, as he knows that Naruto will have to move as well. But the clone then blocks the kunai while Naruto goes up in smoke, and from behind the clone, we see Naruto with his right fist coated in chakra, punching the clone and sending it flying. This is all while Sasuke throws the Demon Wind Shuriken at Zabuza, making him jump to dodge it. Him thinking that this was their last ditch effort, saying that their sensei would die, but the Demon Wind Shuriken then turns into Sakura, as she was able to free their sensei, and now Team 7 regroups with Kakashi, who shows off his Sharingan, but before he engages Zabuza one more time, Naruto places a hand on his right shoulder, sharing some of his own chakra, as this gives Kakashi the boost he needs to dominate here. Well, at least until Haku shows up, killing Zabuza. But as he laid on the ground, Kurama then spoke to Naruto, killed them both, and without a second thought, knowing Kurama wouldn't say this for anything, Naruto would slice off the head of Haku, and Kakashi screamed at him, saying that he didn't need to do that, but then he grabbed the body of Zabuza, tying him up, as they waited a couple hours and removed the needles. He then would wake up, and Team 7 couldn't believe it, and neither could Zabuza, as Naruto left it up to Kakashi to kill the swordsman. As for the rest of the arc, it goes pretty casual, with Gato and his men eventually showing up on the bridge one day, but they didn't stand a chance, and to be honest, Team 7 may not even have to fight them, with the threat of Kakashi of the Sharingan, Mr. Worldwide, and the presence of the Nine Tails. That just may be enough to scare them off without any casualties. As for Gato himself, I think that Naruto would capture him and leave it up to the people of the Land of Waves to decide what they really want to do with him. And because of everything, they would probably kill him. Now, with the extra time that they have, Kakashi could teach Sakura and Sasuke to walk on water and trees, as well as other training that they do on the way back to the Leaf Village. And as they return, they would run into teams like the Sand Siblings, Grass Village members, and others who were preparing for the Chunin exams. Of course, they wouldn't know it until Kakashi proposed it to them, believing that they were also ready. Kakashi himself had already viewed Naruto as a Chunin by the way he performed in their last mission. As on the first day of the exams, Naruto is able to see through the room, telling his team that the real testing room isn't here, which would mean that Team 7 wouldn't interact with Rock Lee and Might Guy here. As for the first test, Naruto wouldn't even have to cheat because of his vast knowledge of the shinobi world and how it works. Jiraiya didn't just train him, actually they spent time, and he raised Naruto to be smart like his father. With this test going the same, with the same people passing, now we can get into the Forest of Death, with there actually being a few changes. As when they enter, Naruto is able to track down one team using Kurama, and he catches them off guard by stealing their scroll and evading them, returning to Team 7. And Naruto isn't caught off guard by the snake of Orochimaru, so when the beast tries to consume him, he rips it apart using a wind blade barrage. As from this point on, it's a battle between Team 7 and Orochimaru. Naruto hates that he even has to show off this much of his strength, but he enters a three-tailed state. Sasuke, Sakura, you back me up here. Each of them shocked by this new power, but they nod, rushing in behind him, as Naruto would call out to Sasuke, who sends a fireball that's evaded, but then Orochimaru is hit with a flurry of attacks. With hundreds of Naruto clones going in as well, Orochimaru has bargained more Then he realized each one of the clones empowered by the Nine Tails would try to rip the Sannin apart. As for the real Naruto, he began preparing a jutsu that he hasn't even got to perfect just yet. It's only something that he learned just a couple months ago. As Orochimaru is able to free himself into open space, Naruto holds out his hand, forming the Rasengan with ease as he looks up at Orochimaru, who says that it can't be. He then looks down at Naruto's face, as it was the face of the fourth Hokage staring back at him. Naruto's Kyuubi chakra then surges from his body to the Rasengan, disappearing from around him and changing the Rasengan's color to red. Naruto knows that he only has one chance, and Kurama would ask if he was sure, as if it doesn't work, we won't get another chance to do this. Naruto nods and then slowly pulls a kunai out from his pouch in his back pocket, and he extends it as Sakura would grab it, and he whispers, "Throw it soon," as she nods and Naruto rushes in, going for the Tail Beast Rasengan. Orochimaru prepares himself and then sees Naruto's two teammates running in as well. With him not knowing that Sakura was able to throw the kunai right behind him, which made it easier for Naruto to then vanish, appearing behind him, as he lands the Rasengan on a direct hit onto his back, sending him flying throughout the forest where a red explosion would go off, alerting many who could see it. And with that out of the way, Naruto would notice that he's extremely tired, but they could now head to the tower, encountering Kabuto, but Sasuke would be the one to take him down without a word. And Naruto helped out in that fight, but it was mainly Sasuke. Now they continued forward, with being one of the first teams to actually make it to the tower. And as they were congratulated by Iruka, Naruto stated that Orochimaru was in the village and to report it to the Hokage. He would nod and then head off, hoping that nothing bad happened to Naruto and his team. As soon as the preliminaries would be announced, still, nothing would actually change, except for Sasuke not having the curse mark and Naruto actually dog-walking Kiba. Literally. Now for the month of training, Jiraiya had returned, and they would actually prepare for the threat of Orochimaru, with them going back to Mount Myoboku. We won't get to see the training that the Sannin has in store for his star pupil, but we do get to see his return and his fight with Neji. Entering the ring with confidence, all shinobi knew that this would be a great fight, and that it was, as Neji gave Naruto some trouble throughout their tough-fought battle, as the two constantly engaged in taijutsu, leaving the crowd wondering who was truly stronger. With Sasuke arriving on time, and using his Sharingan, he smirked. Naruto is clearly much stronger. Tenten then opposed this, but Sasuke would reveal that this entire time, Neji has been fighting a clone, and he would strike through it, as from behind him, everyone looked down to see that Naruto was now holding a kunai to the back of Neji's neck, being declared the winner. I see. Well then, I guess it was just destiny that I lose to you. With that, the two end this match, having much respect for each other, which leads to the next match, with Shikamaru versus Tenten. Even without the hole that Naruto had made in the original, I still think Shikamaru would find a way to give up against Tenten. And this would anger his sensei and his teammates, but who can really do anything about it? He's a lazy prodigy. Now, for the final fight, Gaara would still go on a rampage, meaning that the leaf would be attacked. But this is when Naruto appeared in front of him, using the flying Raijin, yelling out 5-prong seal, as this suppressed Shikaku inside of Gaara and also knocked him out. Alright, well that's one out of the way. As for him, I'll take him down, pointing to Kabuto, who stood on the roof of the building. He then looks to Sasuke, who was standing there. Sasuke, do you think you could make it to support the Hokage for me? He nods and dashes off towards the center of the village where he saw the Hokage go after Orochimaru. As while that goes on, Naruto would jump on the roof of the stadium, holding a kunai in his hands. So, we're having a round 2, Naruto Uzumaki. Well, let's even the odds a little bit against your immense power. From all angles, shinobi from the grass village would surround Naruto, who activates some of the Kyuubi's chakra, ripping through them. But once he finished, Kabuto would be gone. As for Sasuke, he is able to make it inside the barrier, meaning that Naruto is able to teleport inside as well, telling Sasuke that they won't be the ones helping Hiruzen. This is when Jiraiya appears in Sage mode, as Orochimaru points out how he's learned the technique of the second Hokage. This situation has gotten even worse because Hiruzen summons Monkey King Enma. But to counter all of this, Orochimaru summons the first and second Hokage from death. Here is where an all-out brawl begins, as Naruto and Sasuke and Enma go against the past Kage, while Hiruzen and Jiraiya jump Orochimaru. Of course, our heroes would win, but not without sustaining heavy damage, as the first Hokage is able to suppress Naruto and the Kyuubi's chakra over and over, landing powerful blows against him that would even crack his ribs. As for the second, for some reason he goes even harder against Sasuke once seeing his Sharingan, breaking the arm in the battle. So, the two Genin would be out of commission for a short little bit. But Naruto was able to heal with Kurama's own chakra. However, Sasuke wouldn't have something like the curse mark to rely on. So, now it truly puts into question who should become the fifth Hokage, with Hiruzen not taking Jiraiya's no for an answer. But Jiraiya also understands that the leaf needs Lady Tsunade, so if he is to become the Hokage, he wants her to return as well, meaning that Jiraiya would go out and search for Tsunade, but he doesn't take Naruto with him, which would also mean that when the two Akatsuki members show up, they show up to Naruto's front door. However, he wasn't home, due to the fact that he was in the hospital with Sasuke, still trying to recover, asking how his arm was doing. Eventually, the two were found, causing Sasuke to attack but be knocked out due to only having one arm. Naruto decides this might be the time to use it, but since it's still incomplete, he'll have to do what he can. Using a clone that was positioned far away, he entered an imperfected Sage mode. Kisame then says that this should be fun, but Naruto dodges his attack with a swing, and he sends Kisame flying out of the hospital building. This is a short battle because Naruto can only hold his imperfected Sage mode for no longer than 5 minutes, as after he's completely drained, but luckily the Konoha Jonin appeared defending Naruto, and since damage was done to Kisame, Itachi is forced to retreat, meaning Kakashi also wouldn't be put into the Genjutsu. Naruto passes out after this battle, and wakes up, as Jiraiya had already returned with Tsunade, convincing her, and Sasuke, as well as Rock Lee, were healed. But Jiraiya stated that Naruto was being sent to Mount Miyaboku to train with Fukasaku, as Jiraiya could now become the fifth Hokage, with Tsunade there as the head of their new medical division. Many in the village were surprised by this, but actually liked the Sannin becoming Hokage. Naruto would be gone for a year and a half before returning, having mastered Sage mode, as now he will be sent away again to an island with Yamato and Might Guy in order to perfect his control over the Nine Tails. This next year really did a number on Naruto physically, as time and time again, he was forced to master more and more chakra of the beast, as the Nine Tails was no joke, especially with Kurama actually helping Naruto here, which leads to the beginning of Shippuden, with Naruto returning and becoming a Jonin alongside many of his other classmates and peers. With all of this training complete, Naruto decides to go on other missions alone, and when Gaara is attacked, word gets to the Leaf and Team 7 without Naruto goes with Team Guy. Naruto was on a separate mission, which led him to encounter Hidan and Kakuzu early. Wait, that's him, Kakuzu. Naruto didn't even waste a second thought and cut them both in half. Kakuzu then reattached his body, with Hidan laughing on the ground. Oh, that's why you two are together. So that's how it works. Shinobis in pairs that have an affinity for duality. Naruto then snaps into KCM, ripping them to shreds and leaving nothing behind, especially Hidan. Plus, once the head was deattached, he could just make him starve and tell him information about the Akatsuki. Still, he'd only be able to get so much out of him. But things would get worse, as Gaara would be dead because there's no speech, and that means Granny Chiyo wouldn't revive him. And the rest of the Jinchuriki are slowly captured, meaning that Pain would still go to the Leaf and search for Naruto. But before he could decimate the village, Naruto appeared right in front of him. What are you doing in my village? I came looking for the Nine Tails, and it seems the Nine Tails came looking for me. And I'm not gonna lie, because here, we have such a big change in the story, as we still have fighters like Hiruzen and Jiraiya with his perfected Sage mode, as well as Tsunade with her seal, active in the village, waiting for any threat to come. And with Naruto having his own KCM and perfected Sage Mode, I just think it would be too much for Pain and Nagato to even handle. So, Nagato eventually leaves his will for peace with our boy, and Naruto decides, well, it seems to be now or never, as a Kage summit will be called and Naruto attends, meaning that Obito shows up, and instantly he's attacked, but Naruto isn't able to kill him, meaning that he declares the Great War on everyone. As most of that goes the same, with Naruto sending clones throughout each battlefield to help, although when Madara shows up, things do go for a change, as he tries to summon the Nine Tails, and Naruto holds his stomach in agony. Since the war is pretty long, I'll go over the most crucial battles in my story. In the first meeting and the revival of Madara, Naruto uses KCM to keep up with the God of Shinobi and then adds on Sage Mode, as this gives him an advantage until Madara began to use his Susanoo, but even that wouldn't stop Naruto, as since Madara didn't awaken his Rinnegan, this would mean the allied forces could seal him. I just don't think he'd let it happen, meaning that the way they defeat him was through Sasuke and Itachi, who take down Kabuto early and release the jutsu, making the shinobi from the past start to disappear and return to the dead, including Madara, and since he wouldn't have Obito near him to use Rinne Rebirth or a Rinnegan to do it himself, that means Obito would be the only one left with Black Zetsu. And it was only a matter of time before they were found as well, as Black Zetsu was sealed by the allied shinobi forces, and Obito was fought as he revealed his true identity to Kakashi, who was shocked even more, but he knew what he had to do, as these two continued their own battle, taking it into the Kamui dimension. And with the Rinnegan and Sharingan, Obito couldn't be touched by his old friend, although once he figured out how to get in there, Naruto took the battle on, and once Obito was defeated, Naruto and Sasuke wouldn't have to fight here. Even though he was lustful for power and change, Sasuke knew it would come in time. So, this sort of wraps up the story with a lot more of a happier ending, with the friends of our heroes surviving and being able to nurture the next generation of shinobi in the future. My name is Zero, and if you like content like this, consider subscribing to the channel, but I'll catch you all on the next one.